focus. Ideate, innovate, enable.
Sometimes there are brands that have embedded themselves so much in the consumer's psyche that they become generic for that category. On Brands That Build India today, we feature one such brand, an Italian brand that couldn't be more Indian.
Bisleri का मतलब pure water.
The taste of that water was definitely different than your home water. If it's just like boiled water.
Bisleri is like a pure crystal drinking water.
It is supposed to be a pure and safe drinking water.
People take Bisleri. Personally, I take Bisleri because it's really pure.
Bisleri बहुत अच्छा पानी है, शुद्ध पानी है और टेस्ट में अच्छा लगता है.
I don't know. I mean, I know it's packaged drinking water, but as far as the meaning goes, I don't know the meaning.
I think it's named after someone.
That's right, Bisleri is named after Felice Bisleri, an Italian businessman who brought the brand to India in 1965. Originally mineral water sold in glass bottles, it was bought over by Parle in 1969. Now, as the family business later split into three separate companies, one branch was named Parle Bisleri.
Though it was called Parle Bisleri, the focus was clearly on soft drinks. In 1969, they'd only bought Bisleri so that they could sell carbonated water or soda, because no soft drink company was complete without it. The Bisleri brand languished for years, with the only real consumers being five-star hotels. The Bisleri name was kept on, hoping the Italian pedigree would add the required touch of class for its consumers.
This was way back in 64, 65, somewhere there. We had Gold Spot, Limca, not yet Thumbs Up. So a lot of our attention was going to the carbonated beverage. And Bisleri was still in a glass bottle at that time. So glass bottle, the distribution is very different. And if you send from one place, say Bombay to Calcutta, and bring that empty bottle back, not very practical. So basically we worked on Bisleri only for Bombay. But then also, as a company, it was a very neglected, because whatever effort you put in for your carbonated beverage would give you much better results than with Bisleri.
Ramesh Chauhan, who eventually took over the company from his father, is a bit of a brand strategist. With clever advertising and promotions, he built immense loyalty for his soft drink brands, Thumbs Up, Limca, Malta and Gold Spot. But was forced to sell them out when he realized that all bottlers wanted to defect to multinationals after liberalization.
After we sold to Coca-Cola in 93, I was unemployed. So I said, okay, now what to do? So let's take up this Bisleri aggressively. So it took us about 2-3 years to get the mindset of the people who were with me to start thinking about water.
And so Chauhan began the task of reinventing his only remaining brand, Bisleri. By then the bottled water market had picked up because of the non-availability of good drinking water. But Chauhan knew that he would need to concentrate on distribution and innovative SKUs if he wanted to give the brand a bigger push.
See, Bisleri in a glass bottle used to be 650 ml or 750 ml, I'm not sure. And then when we went to plastic, 650, 750 makes no sense. You go to 1 liter, and 1 liter was costing as much as 650 or 750. So the 1 liter was done. Then in South India, there was somebody who was doing a good job with 1.5 liter bottle. So we said, okay, look, it's a 1.5 liter, let's put in a 2 liter bottle. And then after that, we started with a half liter and then a quarter liter.
Taking the half liter bottle and pricing it at a competitive price which made it more economical to buy a half liter bottle, you got yourself a reason for the guy to say, why should I buy the liter? Because first of all, when you buy a bottle of water, do you drink a liter? We like walking around with the thing in our hand or in your handbag or whatever it is you put it in, and then you drink the rest.
And so, targeting the short-distance commuter, Bisleri introduced the 500 milliliter bottle at 5 rupees, which gave the company a growth of 400%. The next target was those who share their bottle. So the 1.2 litre bottle was born, but later discontinued. But the corporate market and even household market was finally tapped with the larger sizes, the 20 litre cans. Today the company claims that 50% of its sales come from this segment, even though it doesn't get adequately reflected in market share figures because it's not sold in retail outlets.
The retail bottled water market in India is valued at about 3,800 crores on an annual basis. And if I were to look at the last 2 years CAGR growth, is growing at about 14% odd. One is of course the affordability part of it. As the affordability is increased, that has made a difference. Second is the availability part of it. It requires distribution across the hinterlands of India for it to make a difference. Third is all about the safety and the health connotation associated with it. I think these are the three things which really made a difference. The fourth dimension is the convenience part of it. As people travel, as they're moving out essentially, it's very convenient for you to carry a bottled water and pick it up at any point of time. That makes a difference.
In 2004, I started a business 50 bottles of 20 litre. After growing, I suddenly went 5,000 to 6,000 per month. From last year, when I converted to the Shopee, so I gained double the figure.
Always want to spot the opportunity for publicity and sampling, Chauhan often ensured that Bisleri bottles were distributed freely at big events and high-profile weddings. With this kind of push, Bisleri is often the first beverage offered to customers at offices and shops.
Jewelry shop you go to a sari shop or anywhere, the guy will offer you a bottle of water. That's, hospitality. And now, before, what was the system? Chai lao. Chai lao, you need a cup, you need a saucer, you need a teaspoon, you need sugar, milk, tea, so many things. The people who are making it now, they also find it cumbersome.
Bisleri ads have often been quite quirky and yet pointedly targeting one set of consumers with a particular market insight. In the initial years, the very extraordinary ad was aimed at the upmarket customers of five-star hotels. Later, the Play Safe campaign aimed at converting masses to the bottled water market at a time when pollution and water safety concerns were being publicly raised. The latest campaign is for the 500 milliliter bottle called the Kiss to Drink. The campaign targets the consumer who likes to carry his or her individual bottle.
Mr. Chauhan wanted to disrupt the market with the 500 ml bottle. What does water mean to us culturally? Okay, one thing is water is, अपन घर पे जाएंगे किसी के तो सबसे पहले पानी तो देगा आदमी, ठीक है. दूसरी बात है कि कोई किसी का झूठा पीता नहीं है. So that's why we came from that, because Bisleri is this handy bottle, you can carry your own. We didn't want to put jhuta in the line. कि झूठा करके मत पियो, ये थोड़ा अजीब sound होता है. Also we wanted the children to relate, the new generation to relate with it, and we wanted to create a dissonance. Like when you listen to Kiss to Drink, you're thinking, what? Kiss to Drink?
Bisleri 500. पहले अपनी खरीदो, फिर मुंह से किस करो, फिर शाबाश.
Bisleri is on an expansion mode. After launching Vedika, the premium Himalayan spring water in 2012, it just launched Urza, an energy drink. It now has plans to set up 7 more plants shortly.
So the Italian-named Indian brand is all set to cross over. It is now time for us to take a short break on brands that build India. But when we return, we have a conversation with Santosh Desai of Future Brands on his take on the Bisleri brand.
Personally, for instance, I'm not a great fan of Bisleri advertising. I really don't think that the advertising has added too much to the brand.
Welcome back. You're watching Brands That Build India, and today we're talking about a brand that's become generic for water in India. We're talking about the Bisleri brand. Now, its success has been engineered by Ramesh Chauhan, the man who gave us India's most popular soft drink, Thumbs Up, before he sold out to Coca-Cola. It's that kind of mind that has been behind the making of Bisleri. We're now joined by Santosh Desai of Future Brands, who knows all about the Bisleri brand's success. Santosh, thanks very much for joining us on Brands That Build India. You know, I read somewhere that you've called Bisleri more of a brand success or a business success. Why is that?
If you were to see where Bisleri is today and attribute it to something, then it would have to be the fact that the model was really something that Ramesh Chauhan got right. Of course, it is a brand success also. I mean, there is no question about the fact that it has become synonymous with water, with bottled water in the country, and that is a very big deal. But if you were to look at what is it that led to the brand being what it is, then it has more to do with the elements of the model that he put in place, and less to do with traditional sources of what we consider as being the sources of brand building. You know, things like advertising. The dominant aspects here were not so much the traditional sources, but the fact that he got the model right, and he was able to therefore leverage every element in that mix.
If we look purely at advertising, would you say it's played a relatively insignificant role in building the Bisleri brand?
I think it is true, certainly, that if you were to look at, you know, what makes Bisleri the powerful brand that it is today, you would be hard put to assign too much responsibility to the advertising. But personally, for instance, I'm not a great fan of Bisleri advertising. I really don't think that the advertising has added too much to the brand. It is the fact that they understood how to deliver this brand much more to consumers when they needed it. It was the ability to make it ubiquitous and to create a sense of trust in the brand, which has led to, you know, it being what it is today. Advertising has not really been the significant driver here.
You know, the advertising has never been iconic. Effective maybe, but not iconic. So then how has it become so ingrained in the customer's mind?
Partly it is to do with timing. The fact that, you know, if you were to look at when Bisleri came in, it preceded this shift in consciousness towards the idea of health, at least in my childhood, if you were to look at how water was seen. And there was no concept of purity, no concept of taking precautions of this kind. There has been an overall shift in consciousness. So I think that getting the timing right has been an important part of what Ramesh Chauhan has managed. One is to have come in early and to taken a lead. The other is to maintain it. And I think that is something that Ramesh Chauhan has managed really, really well. And the real key to the success of Bisleri today is his ability to hang tough in the face of competition and to keep the operating elements of the brand going.
Santosh, getting the distribution right and bringing in convenient bottle sizes is perhaps responsible for the kind of success that Bisleri has seen. How do you believe Bisleri got that right?
I think the fact that in terms of having an instinctive feel for the consumer, and I think this is what a lot of Indian entrepreneurs, you know, get right, because there is a sense of actually being in touch and in a hands-on way, in a very personal way, having a sense of the market, which can't be learnt. And so it is not just textbook research, but an instinctive feel for the market and the ability to sense and anticipate where the market is moving and where the needs are going. So as the idea of water from a more collective, so it was collective, the idea that, you know, I had a matka at home and it was collective water, to personal water, from indoor taking care but outdoor being indifferent to being much more careful outdoors. These are the elements that drove the business. Bottle sizing becomes a huge opportunity, in particular because it allows people to use it on the go and for personal consumption. So I think in this case, getting that understanding and converting that into something that worked was key.
जब कस्टमर जब हमारे पास आता है वो बिस्लरी मांगता है आधा लीटर की या 1 लीटर की, तो उसके बदले में हम उसको कोई भी ब्रांड देते हैं तो लगभग तो 80-90% लोग देखते नहीं है.
We don't tell him to give us drinking water, tell him give me on Bisleri.
People will always just go to the shop and be like, "Bhaiya Bisleri dena please."
Still we ask for Bisleri sometimes. It's just by default, Bisleri comes out of your mouth.
Santosh, you know, the people that we interviewed on the show, so many of them over and over again said that when they ask for water, they ask for Bisleri. Is that a disadvantage to be a generic brand, or is it in fact an advantage? Because people accept any brand as Bisleri without checking, you think?
The key here is for people to have a sense of what the brand is really about. And if there is one relatively weak area, I think, in the brand, it is the fact that it is a highly trusted brand, but people don't know why exactly they trust it. And this is, I think, partly also a failure of its advertising, where it has been clever, it has been, it has made puns and it has made jokes, but it's not really provided an emotional reason or a place where you understand where Bisleri is coming from.
All right, Santosh, we are going to have to let you go. Thanks very much for joining us today on the show. It is now time for us to take another break. But when we return, we'll find out how Bisleri is dealing with a huge environmental concern, the disposal of plastic bottles. Stay tuned.
God has been good to India. And we've got so much rainfall, and almost 80% of the rainfall goes to the sea, which is criminal.
Welcome back. You're watching Brands That Build India, and today on the show we're featuring Bisleri. When we talk about a bottled water brand, there are bound to be questions raised about the environmental impact. But Bisleri has the answers.
Bisleri collects and crushes PET bottles, even from different brands, and supplies them to companies that use it for fabrics, pillows, bags, etc. The image of a responsible company helps it keep up its play-safe image.
How to get better and better value for PET to the rack pickers, so that they incentivize on their own to see that they are able to. Because see, there was a time when a rack picker will not pick up a PET bottle. They would only take PVC or polyethylene, but not now. PET has got a good value.
Since no one could understand the need for water better than Bisleri, the company has installed 19 check dams and rainwater harvesting facilities in all Bisleri plants across the country. It's proud to claim that it harvests close to 10 billion litres of water annually.
God has been good to India, and we've got so much rainfall, and almost 80% of the rainfall goes to the sea, which is criminal.
With many dire predictions about water scarcity worldwide, Parley Bisleri insists that it's a duty and necessity to harvest water and protect natural water resources, not just a brand-building exercise.
It's not often that you find a company's CSR activities being such a perfect fit with its brand image. But with that, it is time for us to wrap up this week's episodes of Brand That Build India. We hope you enjoyed watching the show. Do tune in same time next week. We get you another exciting brand that's helped build India. From all of us here on the team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.